Look at all the great people who changed the course of history, of the 10 illustrious gurus in Punjab. They could have walked away, particularly the later gurus. They could have saved their lives. They could have walked away. They could have just continued to give discourses like this. But no, they said, no, we have to do what is right, not what we want to do. His question is why somebody has to go through so many trials and tribulation on the path of truth or righteousness was the word he used. And why do sinners prosper? I, even for a moment, don't believe in the second one, that sinners prosper. I think people who are opportunistic, people, even positively so, I don't mean negatively, people who are hardworking and people who don't blame their losses onto others are the ones who prosper, one way or the other. It's very simple. If you have a good attitude and you are prospering, people around you will be a lot more forgiving towards you. Even if you're a sinner in their eyes, but you're good to them, they say, it's not that bad a guy. He's got a good side too, or she's got a good side too. I mean, people pray to drug lords. It happened. Pablo Escobar. People had his pictures in their homes praying, offering incense because he was paying their kids' fee, or just paying somebody's medical expenses and so. So what is good and what is bad, and who is good and who is bad? And really ask yourself deeply this question. And be very frank and candid with yourself. Who do you consider good in your life? I can say it with almost great conviction. The people you consider good in your lives are those either you have not met and you have an image of them in your head, and they are usually dead, and you're thinking they were great. That's the literature we only get to read. Or those who are good to you. We don't consider somebody good just because they are good. We only consider those good, those who are good to us. And that's a very skewed definition of who is a sinner versus who isn't one. And sin according to who? When we say somebody is a sinner, what's the definition? Is it absolute? Absolutely, nothing is absolute. Even that term itself that I used. Nothing is. There is nothing called absolute. That was Buddha's whole discovery. Satya sapeksha, truth is relative, he said. If you draw a line, if you draw two lines, line A, line B, and B is taller than A, that's true. As long as there is not a C line that is even taller or higher or whatever, my geometry is very poor. So then that truth changes. So sinners don't prosper. When we look at somebody and we don't like that person and he's prospering, we tend to see what all they're not doing well in their life and say, but uske saath to itna acha ho raha hai. Aap bhi kar lo, aapka haath kisne roka? Why don't you do it as well? So if you are living in your past, if you're constantly just badgering yourself or doubting yourself, and rather than acting on something with all your rigor, if you just are thinking, why is the other person getting it? That will never lead you to the peace, the shore of peace, ever. And why there are so many challenges when you are going on a good path? Because the bad path is very easy. It's just very tempting. Take the easy route out. I will take a very different example, not unrelated though. In this country, we say there is great unemployment. But I tell you, you cannot find good people to work. You can pay any amount of salary, And most people, imagine the word, how sad this state of affairs is that I'm using the word most, have very poor work ethic. They're okay to go home at 5 o'clock, even though they've been surfing Facebook or working double jobs or not showing up to work or not finish their task. They're saying, 5 baje company apna baad mein dekhegi. And you cannot find good people. Everybody wants it easy. An intern who comes out of the uni says, okay, I'll join you for 2 or 3 or 4 lakhs a year. In 2 years, they want 8 lakhs. In 3 years, they want 16 lakhs. In 4 years, they want 20 lakhs. Which is okay, but the output isn't there. I would want everybody to be paid great salaries, so like that would raise the national level of income, that will bring more prosperity, and that will ripple through, have a ripple effect. But the output is not there. They're so out of touch with reality that they don't understand that you have to produce to do something. So people say, there aren't jobs. But that's because everybody wants to do the easy bit. It's the hard bit that people, the boring bit that we want to avoid. And when great organizations, great companies, great success is built, I can tell you, it doesn't matter how easy it looks from the outside. The real thing is, those people who've made it have worked day and night to make something happen. And the strangest thing, even then, there is no guarantee that it will lead to success in the first go. You might have to do it again and again and again and again and work hard each time equally every time. So the challenges are there because that is the only way to progress. When we exercise in the gym, if you don't tear your muscle fibers, they won't grow. Resistance is the way to growth. But excessive resistance will snub you, will demotivate you. So it has to be the right amount. Sometimes when I hire people, I ask them this simple question. What is your goal? I tell them. I ask them, what would you like? How much money? Clearly, I said you're joining us for the money. It's not for the cost. Don't say those things. They don't mean anything. Because the moment you withdraw your interactions, the cost disappears from their mind. People get entangled in other people's issues and two people can't work together, or they don't like the job anymore and they just move on. So clearly when somebody joins a company, financial incentive is the chief motivating factor. So I ask them, okay, how much would you like to make? They may say, look, I'd like to make $1 million, for example. Then I'll say, is it a dream or is it a goal? If it's a dream, I'm happy to press end call now. Thank you very much. Tada, later. See you. Maybe not see you. Bye-bye. If it's a goal, then I'll tell you what you need to do for me, and I will make sure I find $1 million to give it to you. So when we are working towards anything in life, that hustling, that grinding, that energy, that doesn't matter. I have to just go through this motion day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. Results may not come for a decade. But if you are passionate about it, and that's really the key, you cannot pursue something thinking, I want to be rich and that's why I want to start a business. I can tell you your business will fail. If you want to start a business, when somebody comes to me and says, "Kaun sa business karu?" my heart sinks immediately. I feel very bad for that person because I don't know what to answer. Aap koi bhi business kar lo, chalega nahi. When somebody says, "मैं कौन सा business करूं?" मुझे घबराहट होनी शुरू हो जाती है. Will I have to be your customer? Hopefully not. Right. So the point is, you do something because you deeply care about it. And if you deeply care about it, the rewards will come. That's not to say those rewards are going to be monetary rewards always, but it would always be a part of it. At least your journey, each day of your life, will be full of stress, full of hard work, but also full of great fulfillment. That I did something that I care about today. And that superficialness, when that disappears from life, you will never see obstacles that you have to cut through. You may see hurdles that you have to jump over. And there's difference between the two. They will always be there. Abhyasen tu kante vairagyan cha grihate. It's a difficult path, no doubt, asansham mahabahu. But you've got to keep your practice up, and you've got to do it with a sense of detachment, sense of abandon that, okay. I mean, people who succeed in their businesses in the first go are very rare. It's almost like winning a lottery. Millions aspire for it, millions even buy the tickets for it, and a handful win it. And those millions will read those handful stories and say, kabhi mera number bhi lagega, main phir se leta hu. But the reality is that is a very random thing. That perfect moment in time when you can enter into a new business, when you're almost like a fly on the wall and you can hear what's to happen and you can just tap into that trend or something. But even then, it's not like you start a business today and tomorrow you exit. It's a hard, arduous, it's a difficult, strenuous job where you have to motivate yourself. And that way, sadhana is identical to running a business. Ape Guru, Ape Chela, as it says in Sri Guru Granth Sahib. You have to motivate yourself. You have to find your own mojo. You have to look within and say, what do I need to improve today? There is no other way. People who are not self-disciplined cannot motivate themselves. That motivation is going to be the fizz of a bottle of Coke. Gone. Leave it half an hour, it's flat as anything, not even tasty. But to have that fountain of water, which is just springing forth ceaselessly, incessantly, that is what motivation is. That perennial source of joy, of bliss, of motivation, of doing what you've got to do. And believe me, then it won't ever matter who's succeeding and who isn't. That was Arjun's dilemma too. Why them? Why us? Why fight against them? But Krishna said, look, to hell with all your questions, Arjuna. Are you going to fight or no? Do you want to give up and walk away, or do you want to fight? Look at all the great people who changed the course of history, of the 10 illustrious gurus in Punjab. They could have walked away, particularly the later gurus. They could have saved their lives. They could have walked away. They could have just continued to give discourses like this. But no. They said, no, we have to do what is right, not what we want to do. And when we give up our life, when we give up our even laziness for a cause, amazing things happen. So what is there to learn from the lives of those awakened beings? Why do we document their lives? Why do we read what they have to say? Why do we say their Bani, just chanting what they said, what came from their holy mouths? Why? So that we remind ourselves that, well, those were the choices they made, because of which today we are sitting in peace. Otherwise, we will end up simply idolizing somebody and we'll put them on a pedestal and then we say, thank you very much, please take care of me. And they will, as you see, they will always be smiling back at you. Quiet. So that question will disappear. And where you are on the spiritual path can be almost instantly figured out, instantly ascertained based on the questions that come into your mind and you ask yourself.